with that down, you know, if you're ever going to talk about excellence this year, you got to talk about Madam Web, right? Well, this next story is about Madam Web. Jonathan, what do we got?
Well, we're all aware of how badly Madam Web bombed at the box office and with critics. Well, you know the old saying, all publicity is good publicity. It might be true, as Madam Web has not only debuted on Netflix, but has become their #1 movie on the platform. Chris, it's hard for me to get through this one. Does the instant success of Madam Web on streaming make you question reality?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. For why? What is happening? Black is white, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. It's all I can think. It honestly, though, this makes sense for it to be #1 on streaming right now, because let us be clear, this is a poo-perfect masterpiece of
Put that on the poster.
It is a poo-perfect masterpiece of bad movie, and it makes it for a really fun home watch with your friends. If you sit down, I mean, Logan and I joked about this on Instagram of how this is the greatest drinking game and how you need something to get through this movie. But if you watch this with your friends and you kind of room it, right? You take a Tommy Wiseau interactive approach to it and you yell stuff up. You finish your drink responsibly with a DD and all of those things, right? You finish your drink when she says, my mother was studying spiders in the Amazon. You do those things. It's a really fun communal experience. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's what movies are, even the bad ones, as long as you can have a fun time with people.
Poo Perfect is great for like the tagline for Blood and Honey Part 2.
Poo Perfect. Listen, I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this. It might surprise you. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised for a couple of reasons. Number one, nobody saw it in theaters. I mean, obviously made about the same amount of money as Godzilla -1 did. So like some people saw it, but I mean, in general, making about $100 million, essentially most people didn't see it, right? But it played theatrically, and it's a major, quote unquote, superhero film.
So it could be up for an Oscar in Best Effects or something.
So yes, that's exactly what we were going here for. Best visual effects. The visual effects weren't any worse than the visual effects in Godzilla -1. I'm just saying, hey, listen, as horrible as Madam Web was, among its biggest weaknesses. What? You're going to disagree with that?
No, but the budget was different.
I'm not going to say the movie was anywhere near as good as Godzilla -1.
It also is mostly because I just watched Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And the black suit just looks like they went and used that for when Ezekiel's climbing on the ceiling in the tree.
Spider-Man?
Yeah. It looks like just they went, you know what? Let's see some of that Toby footage.
It was so bad. And I think that was actually a practical effect where they used wire work on the guys, and it looked so bad.
like the 1960s or 70s.
Yes.
Where he just kind of goes like that.
Do you remember that footage from like the 1970s Spider-Man thing? That's what it looked like when those guys were going to the trees.
In Spider-Man 3, they talk about this a whole bunch too. I just talked to somebody about this. I talked to Eric Fans about this, of how you don't want your Spider-Man to be practical because then he just looks like Tarzan or he looks just weird. It's a guy on a rope, right? But there's just something about Ezekiel in the train going and shimming his little booty around that looks so laughable. So
yeah, it's pretty, but it played in theaters, and because it played in theaters, it feels like a legitimate movie. John, are you saying movies that go to streaming aren't legitimate? No. I'm not saying that at all. But that's the perception for a lot of average moviegoers, right? That if it plays in theaters, it's a legit movie, and then it came to streaming. And now everybody who avoided it in theaters are like, oh, I should check it out because there it is. So I really shouldn't be all that surprised. Now, what I will be surprised about, if it's #1 again next week, then I'll have to ask some questions. Because if it's #1 again next week, I can guarantee you somewhere at a boardroom at Sony right now, executives are going, you know what? We should re-release this.
It's a smash hit.
It's a hit. We should put this back in theaters for a second run. It worked with Morbius. Why can't it work here? Yeah, so I'm not surprised. Now, actually, true story. Ray has said in this office this morning, before we started the show,
I'm excited
that he's going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it. I'm excited.
And why were you excited to watch it again?
Because I fell asleep through most of it.
That's right. He fell asleep. He left me on my own when we went to go see Madam Web, and he fell asleep.
See, my plan.
He wants to watch it again.
That my day, I planned this like that movie screening like perfectly. I got so much food that I ate myself into a coma.
Oh no!
And I went to sleep. So I'm gonna actually watch it this time. not gonna lie, if you look at my search history in Safari, it's
I don't think I want
no.
to search
There's one
Safari.
search that says, "When does Madam Web go to streaming?" And the day has come. I can't wait to see this thing, see what everyone's talking about. Yep.
I'm interested to see if you like it, Ray, because you and Logan usually have the same taste.
Did you like it?
Logan hated this movie.
Okay,
He
well-
wanted a formal apology from this movie. So I'm very interested to see what you think.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
And you know me, I try to go through movies that I love and point out weaknesses, and I love to go through movies that I really dislike and point out things that were good. And man, I struggled with Madam Web.
The best thing going for it was that it felt like a movie from 2003. It
know-
felt like a Spider-Man movie from then, but not as good.
You know what was a legit good thing in the movie? Adam Scott. He
Tried so hard.
He tried so hard to bring something redeemable. Like he actually felt like the one true movie character in it.
Yeah.
And not some kind of bad joke that they played on us all. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Cuts Clothing. Let's be real. Most guys would wear a t-shirt every day of their lives if we could. The problem is that most t-shirts are not acceptable to wear at work or out on a hot date. Today's sponsor, Cuts, has finally changed that. Cuts t-shirts are such high quality, wrinkle-free, and so buttery soft that you can look like you're dressing up even when you're dressing down. Yeah, you heard that right. They are wrinkle-free. And for a limited time, you can save money while redefining the dress code by heading to cutsclothing.com and use the code Campea for 20% off. Guys, you know me, when it comes to clothing, my number one priority is comfort, and I could not believe just how comfortable my Cuts shirt was. It was light, it breathed, it felt like $1,000,000, and it made me feel like I looked like $1,000,000 too. And the best part? Cuts clothing is built to last. Their durable construction means you'll be enjoying your favorite shirts and pants for years to come, making them a smart investment for your wardrobe. So guys, for a limited time, our listeners get 20% off your entire order when you use the code Campea at checkout. That's 20% off your order at cutsclothing.com with the promo code Campea. Please support our show by telling them that the John Campea Show sent you. Experience the perfect blend of style and comfort with Cuts Clothing. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Are you now booking your evening to sit down in front of Netflix and watch the #1 film on the platform in Madam Web? What do you attribute that to? Whatever you guys think, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.